Hi guys, it's all killer, no filler, total frustration. The best show on the internet. How you doing?
True.
Good.
Voted
everyone's
for
all
by
right?
us. Voted for by
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And one other subscriber that said it was the best show on the internet.
Yep, definitely. Best show on the internet. It's in
Horrible.
writing, isn't it? It's a fact.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I've got to say, and I've said it before, it is fucking excellent.
It is. And
Yeah.
compared to some of some of the other stuff on there that gets more views, I don't understand it.
No. And to think that we're involved is that's a plus point, isn't it?
Added bonus.
Exactly.
Our
Now
knowledge, our humor, our camaraderie.
Our collective age, about 605.
What?
Yeah, we are getting on a bit, but that makes that's why if we was fucking 16-year-olds talking about rock and metal in the 80s and stuff, we
Exactly.
be,
Yeah.
Anyway.
We lived it.
We have lived it. We have definitely. Me and Dom
Still
a bit
lived
more.
it.
Me and Dom a little bit more than you, but definitely lived it, mate. So obviously the idiots are here. Dom's here. How you doing?
Doing good. You can't stop my rock and roll, Macaulay.
Exactly. And that's your middle name I made up for you that I've already forgotten.
Right,
and we got Jam Woke
Rulemaker.
Rawlinson. Is that?
That's it. That was the rule maker.
Oh yeah, the rule maker. That's it. Yeah. And I just must add, in case you're, because we obviously we are very woke as well.
Yep.
So if you're watching this show, you'll get that we're very we see everyone the same, and we treat everyone with respect, and all that bollocks, don't we?
Yeah.
Is that the end of your story?
Yeah. I don't. People say to me, "What does woke mean?" I don't even know anymore. To tell you the truth, that film that you watched the other day, Dom. That's what woke is. In the first 5 minutes, I would have turned it off after that.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Anyway, that's a different story. We're talking about music now. So we're on all killer, no filler, total frustration. The rules of the game are, because obviously we get thousands of new fans every week. So just in case this is your first show you're watching, and we're up to 2016, guys. So get in there, aren't we? We are getting there for sure. So the rules are, like I said, we've got a year 2016. We can't repeat bands, but we can repeat bands, because if a band had 2 albums out that year, we could. That's about the only way we could. We can't repeat the album, so it has to be a different, like one of our favourite songs off the albums. But the track listing has to match the original track listing, which is the biggest pain in the arse. But that's what the game's all about.
It is. Yep.
So there you go. Otherwise, we'd choose our favourite album and just say, right, that's my all killer, no filler for that year.
Yeah.
That'd be a bit shit, wouldn't it?
Very, very easy.
So I'm going to go Jam, because it's 2016.
Right. Yeah.
That's
because he's an even kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sounds he keeps us even, doesn't he, Dom?
It does.
Keeps us intact. Well behaved, dog, Jam. There you go.
Well, we've never really seen him.
No, exactly. Right, where you got then, mate? What's your track one for 2016?
Okay, I'm going with a new band to me-ish. They're not a new band, but I only got into them quite recently because they were doing a co-headline tour with Machine Head. And because they were sort of melodic death metal, I thought, oh, I'm not sure I like these sort of thing. And as I listened to them more, I really, really like them. That's Amon Amarth. Definitely not their first album, as I say. This is fifth or sixth album we're getting to now, but because obviously I've missed a few years. But this is their album called John's Viking. Don't know how you pronounce that, but that's how it's titled. And the track's called First Kill. It's great opening song. I mean, melodic death might obviously put Lee off with the vocals, but I think it's really good. The guitars are like sort of melodies are like Maiden. They sound like this is quite a fast song in places. Really, really catchy. And it's just really great song. I mean, I think this is probably my favourite album from them. Actually, a lot of people I don't think like this one particularly, but maybe because it's more not commercial, but more because it's sort of not as heavy as they used to be, perhaps, so that people don't like it. But I really like it. Obviously, these are a Viking metal band, if you don't know who they are. Brilliant live, supported Machine Head. flames everywhere and Vikings and swords and all that sort of stuff. Very good to watch. And yeah, great song. First Kill. There you go.
Like Manowar death metal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, Jam, if you had to choose between pirate metal and Viking metal, which would be your?
But it depends on. I mean, they've got place. Both have got place. I mean, pirate metal's a joke, isn't it? This is, although it's, some people might think it's a joke from outside. Viking metal's a bit more serious. They're singing about serious things, and they're just, if you know what I mean. Whereas pirate metal's just about partying and stuff, isn't it?
Oh, right. Okay. So I don't know the difference.
Oh, so have you not heard them? Okay, yeah. I mean, if you look at them, you think they're a joke, but I mean, they're proper band. These are like proper serious musicians. So there you go.
No, well, I guess I knew that about Viking. I didn't know that about pirate. I didn't know that there was kind of a joke.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just a party atmosphere, fun. I mean, they're not being too serious about themselves.
Yo ho ho and
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Walking piece of eight, walking the plank, that sort of stuff.
Right.
You can't really combine
like on Pirates of the Caribbean, but with guitars.
I was going to say you can't do it, but you probably can, because you can do anything with genres these days. But a pirate Viking band might be quite cool to, like, I don't know whether you could combine the two.
Different kinds of I don't know. Did they exist in this one?
No.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if there was Viking pirates.
No, you can't. But I mean, you could have one of the guitarists could be a pirate.
Yeah.
The singer could be a Viking.
Kind of like Village People. You could have like a caveman over on the drum.
Yeah. Giving me some good ideas there. Anyway, good one, mate. Bit of fucking Viking death metal to start us off, and then we go on to Dom. What you got, mate?
Viking melodic death metal. Gotta fucking love it, man.
Fucking right.
What a world we live in these days. Come on.
Yep.
Never Viking melodic death before. Okay, so my first one is a band that's only had one record so far. This is their first one, obviously. They're called Legion. The name of the song is Battle Cry, and the album is called Last Man Standing. Now, this is a U.S. band. I have I have two solo albums from the singer. His name's Phil Vincent. When his solo stuff comes on, every once in a while when it starts, I think it's Kip Winger. Like, he's got a very similar voice. So this is melodic hard rock. Really good, though. Legion kind of makes you think it's going to be melodic, brutal death metal, but it's not. Yeah, just a great melodic album. Heavy, though. I mean, it's still got guitars and stuff, but it's not any gar gar gar. But yeah, and Phil Vincent, he's got some great solo records as well. So if you're interested in any of that, check it out. That is Legion with Battle Cry.
Never heard of them, which is unusual because of this, melodic rock, hard rock. I thought I might have heard it. I've heard the name Phil Vincent though, but
yeah, okay. I was going to say, I'm sure you've probably heard his name just reading.
Maybe he's done other projects. You know what these musicians are like now. They're trying to make their money. You know what I mean? Anyway,
yeah.
Great one, mate. Thanks for that. Well, I'm probably a bit more, as usual. My list is probably a bit more, I don't know, obvious, I suppose. So the first one, Michael Sweet. There you go. He was on his solo album this year. The solo album's called One Sided War. And the song's Bizarre, which was a single. It's his 7th solo album.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And you think of all the other stuff, he's done with Stryper as well. And they almost, at this stage of his solo albums, they almost took a different turn as well into heaviness, I suppose. On the old solo albums, they were a lot lighter than Stryper was. It was almost AOR at times, but now it's like they're almost side by side. The Stryper and Michael Sweet. You could probably interchange the songs to do on both bands, but they're nearly as strong as the Stryper albums as well. So this is an excellent song. It's rocking, it's heavy, great video as well. So yeah, very cool indeed. So Michael Sweet, Bizarre, catchy but very heavy as well. So really, I mean, top form from from him now. 2016. I can't remember when the real good resurgence was from Striper. Probably a couple of years beforehand. But it's almost went hand in hand, like the quality of music now. But very cool. Michael Sweet and Bizarre, great track. All right, track 2, guys. What you got?
Track 2. Okay, I'm going to go with a band I've mentioned many times, so I won't harp on too much about them. But a bit of metalcore. That's Killswitch Engage. Obviously back with Jesse singing now. The album's called Incarnate, and this song is called Hate by Design. Brilliant song. Good album.
Ballad.
Could be one of my favourites. You've heard this
ballad?
one?
No.
No. I don't know if they've done about. I suppose End of Heartache sort of
for them.
For them, yeah. But they're not. I mean, they're heavy, but they're not over the top. I mean, obviously some of the metalcore bits are quite screamy and that, but I mean, they're a really good band. I think they've done some great songs. This is, as I say, this album's great. It's got some good songs on it. As Alone I Stand, Strength of Mind could be one of their best albums, I think. And it's metalcore, catchy, but heavy, and gets you in the mood for your Friday night or whatever you want.
Is this on your Friday night playlist?
Anything's on there, but it would have been at one point. It's obviously a bit old now, so perhaps not.
Good. All right. Yeah, you freshen it up then.
Exactly. Yeah.
They got. Nice. I must admit, they got some of the heaviest fucking riffs you will hear from any band. I mean, some real good riffs. I must admit that.
They're really good.
It's just when they come in with the, you know me, don't you? Shouting. Don't like it.
Shouting. Yeah.
Scares me a little bit, along with those trees as well.
All them trees.
Okay. Cheers, mate. Shoots me up. Well, cheers, mate, for that one. Pretty fucking heavy start from Jam on the list, I gotta admit. Dom, what you got, mate?
Okay, well, it's not that heavy. I mean, it is heavy compared to. Okay, so I was always going to have this song on this year, but then something happened, and I really debated about having this on here, but I can't help it. It's my second favorite cover of all time. It just blows my mind every time I hear it. This is our old buddy Jorn Lande. This is from Heavy Rock Radio, Volume 1, which is all covers. And this is Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill.
I see what you mean now.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Such a great cover. I've listened to this over and over again over the last 6 years. I just love it. And obviously, this year it was in a TV program and it became very, very popular all of a sudden. And it went to #1, I think, again, something like that. So the original, again, is in everyone's public consciousness now. But man, if you love hard rock and you want to hear somebody taking a song that is not hard rock at all and making it an absolute fucking anthem, this is it. Fantastic. So I can't recommend this high enough. Jorn with Running Up That Hill from Heavy Rock Radio, which is a great record front to back.
What's your #1 cover?
Saxon, Ride Like the Wind.
Oh, that's a great song.
Yeah.
That's a fucking excellent song, that, Dom, by the way. I love that song. And I've got to admit, I think I missed the album for this year.
I thought that you would have it anyway, because just on the basis that it's just a covers album, I thought maybe you might be like,
No, I think I might have even chose that song, to tell you the truth, because you're right. That is one, and I think he really excels in those covers that are not rock or metal. I totally agree. And I enjoy any band, to tell you the truth, rock and metal band that does a cover that's like that, not a metal song. I think it's the best. I think it's the best thing. I mean, Queen's right. I speak about them all the time, but "Gonna Get Close to You" was a pop song, wasn't it, basically? And even though it was very similar, I think it's so cool when they take a song that is not rock and metal. So easy for a band, isn't it? So
and whoever he arranged this with, I mean, they put little twists and turns in it and all sorts of like little riffs here and maybe a different chord change and stuff. So it's not just like they just took the songbook and just did a heavy version. They really kind of made it their own, as they like to say on those talent shows. But it's just fantastic. If only could I make a deal with God. It's so good. There you go.
It is fucking brilliant. By the way, you're freezing. I don't know if you were on my screen, Jam. Is he freezing there, Dom?
No.
Yeah,
Am I
you're not
freezing?
nah, but when you were singing
Oh.
there, you was like that.
All right. Well, that'll be pretty for the audience.
Nah,
He didn't freeze on mine.
that's a fucking great song, and I do love that one. Excellent choice.
right.
Okay, so I'm going to. This is a new band, but they're not new musicians. They've been around a while, and I haven't heard this band a lot. The original band they were in, but I love this band. It's The Defiance. So this
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is a Frontiers release. It's a debut album. The song's called Love and Bullets. And the band is basically Danger Danger. So I didn't listen to them a lot, you know, all the way through their career, really.
With their
But
second sing.
yeah, exactly. So Paul Lane, Robert Marcello, and Bruno Ravel, all in Danger Danger, and the Frontiers have got them together for this. They've had 2 albums out now. I think they're working on the 3rd one as well. But really melodic, hard rock at its best, really catchy, excellently produced.
Really good album.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And I actually love the beginning of this album. This is only the 2nd track because the track 1 is like an intro. And you know, on is it The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, when they're in the graveyard, and it's the countdown to them, that tune's playing.
Right.
Before they draw their guns, you know. And that's at the beginning of the album. It's like a play on that, and it's a brilliant introduction to this song, which is the proper first song, really. But it's obviously track 2. So yeah, that is excellent. Anyone who likes melodic rock, melodic hard rock will love that album. The Defiance, Love and Bullets from the Defiance debut album. There you go.
I'm the same with you. You know, I wasn't a huge Danger fan either. I know they're probably more popular here now than they ever were in the States. I mean, a lot of people really love them over here. But yeah, so I wasn't really looking forward to this. You know, it wasn't like a big deal, but it's a great record. Really good.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. Track 3. Jen?
Ready. Okay. Go to our Danish friends in Volbeat. They got an album out called Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie. This is probably where they start to head to the last. The new album's got a bit heavier, but this one and the one afterwards, less heavy bits on it for me, not quite as good. So the first few albums were really good, and then it started tailing off a little bit. And now I think the new album's sort of getting the heaviness back. This song isn't particularly heavy, and it's probably one of them ones, Lee, that you said you only like some songs, don't like the other ones where they go a bit weird. This is probably one of them. It's very catchy. It's called For Evie, which is a name, I presume, a Danish name. And it's really catchy. It's like a poppy song. It's sort of it's got Danish lyrics in some of it, and it's even got a banjo or ukulele breakdown type thing in the middle. So I can see why you perhaps wouldn't like it. But it's a very fun song. It's really catchy. I think it might be even a single. But the album is okay. Devil's Bleeding Crown for track 1 is really good on this album, but not one of my favourite Volbeat albums. But this song, one of the standouts, although it's not that heavy, but it's pretty good. There you go.
A ukulele. So
yeah, or a banjo or something. Yeah,
you could call that Formby metal. George Formby metal.
Could be.
Maybe
Formby metal. There you say.
Formby metal. Yeah.
I actually know who that is.
Metal.
No, it's to tell you the truth. The Volbeat on the only album that I've actually heard, which was last year's one, it wasn't particularly the softer songs that I didn't dislike. I disliked. I quite liked them. I think it was more when they got into their rockabilly, Elvis, stroke rock.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. Yeah,
weird.
Yeah,
but,
this isn't really a soft song. It's just not very heavy. It's an upbeat, fast song, but yeah.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Cheers for that. Formby metal. That's a new one. Dom,
Formby
what you
metal,
got?
Yeah, man, he's really coming with the genres. This
He is. He fucking is. Yeah.
I just noticed that Jam's thing just says phone, whereas our
iPhone.
full names are up on the.
It does. We call Jam iPhone from now on.
So I guess any hate mail that they can direct it, to me and Lee, because they don't even know your name.
I'm anonymous now. I'm just iPhone. That's me.
Yeah. Oh well. Bring it on, motherfuckers.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, we don't get
Okay,
any hate mail, do we? We only get fan mail. We don't get any hate mail.
We do. We haven't heard anything negative about this. No, not at
No,
all.
really.
no,
No.
no, we're not,
Not
boring.
even, not even when Jam goes all sexist on us. We don't even get hate mail there. No. All right. Sorry, Jam. Right, what
I
you got
just
then,
love
Dom?
it. Okay. Number 3, I've got a band called Wild Souls. They are Greek. They are on the label, is it Pride of Lions? Is that a label?
It's a band.
Band.
Oh, there's a melodic rock
Lions Pride,
label.
is it? No, that's another band.
Anyway, they're a melodic rock band from Greece. As you know, all through Europe, all these people love this melodic rock of the 80s and are bringing it back to a new generation. This is just from a long line of other ones. But yeah, really good record. I've got Shame on You, which is the name of the track. And the name of the album is Game of Love. So yeah, it's just, I would say it's your kind of, Journey-ish throwback, maybe a little bit more melodic hard rock, maybe a bit more guitar and stuff, or more Bon Jovi-ish, back in the day, that kind of thing. But yeah, another quality band. We're really living in good times here by 2016, where there's just a ton of bands popping up from all over the world. And it's so much easier to hear their music now. You just have to wait for them to get signed to a major, and then maybe they got some airplay and blah, blah, blah. So here you can just go direct to the source. And yeah, another great one. So Wild Souls.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for that. Excellent. Never heard of them either. So getting loads of music out of this one that I haven't heard of. It's really cool. Right, okay. My track 3 I reckon Jam will have a song from this album, but this is Tremonti. So this song is fucking brilliant. This song is called Once Dead. He's checking. Look, if I'm on the right year, if I've got the right year now. Look, he's fucking. You can see him, can't you? Did you see his face then, Dom?
I was worried about myself then. That's all right. Okay.
So Tremonti, Once Dead, from the album Dust. This was the 3rd album. This is almost. It wasn't. It was said that it was its standalone album, but it was almost like a year after the 2nd album. Which I can't remember the name of the 2nd album. I've obviously already had a track on that, but it was like brought out a year after, so it was almost like the leftovers, they said, of the year before's album. But it doesn't sound like it. Whatever, it's a brilliant album. Cauterize was the 2nd album. So this came out. That came out the year before. So you'd think, wouldn't you, after bringing out the leftovers or whatever from the year before, this was probably for me even better than Cauterize, in my opinion. But this song is just so heavy. It's just Tremonti's brilliant. Bringing out some even better music now, but this is one of my favorite Tremonti songs. It's just excellent. Tremonti, he's so talented, that guy, and underrated. I don't know. He's starting to get rated, isn't he? So whether he's underrated or not is a different matter, but deserves all the praise he gets. Tremonti, Once Dead, and Dust. No, the other way around. Dust is the album. Once Dead is the song. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that stupid face. Right, we're on to track 4 though.
Track 4, right. Okay, so I've got 3 bands of similar vein. They started off as like death metal bands, but now they're more like progressive metal, or in some cases more like progressive rock, really. They've really changed the sound. You could probably guess who they are. The 2 of them are from the same place. This is Opeth, to start with, track 4 from the Sorceress album, which hasn't done that well with Opeth fans. Not because it's not as heavy, because it isn't obviously anymore, but it's just, don't think the songs are on there. I think it's a good album. I enjoyed it when it came out. Not rated particularly highly among the albums, but I like it. I saw them on tour for this. I've seen them for a few times. This song is called Will-O-the-Wisp. It's nothing to do with the 80s TV cartoon. Look it up, Dom, if you don't know what it was like. Kenneth Williams voiced in it. It was quite funny. But yeah, called Will-O-the-Wisp, and it's almost like an acoustic folk song. really, really catchy. It's just got a little bit of progressive elements in it, but it's certainly one of the, I say soft. It's quite reasonable pace, but it's a beautiful song. It's like a folk song. Builds up, it gets a bit heavier towards the end, and it's I think it's the only song they ever play from Opeth on Planet Rock, and it's the only song my brother likes from Opeth, so it must be pretty good if he likes it, because he doesn't like any of the stuff. So, pretty good, yeah. Will of the Wisp, if you not want to check out a mellow, catchy Opeth song, check it out. Although it doesn't have it does have a chorus, but it's not sing Will of the Wisp in it. You know what I mean? But
Will o' the Wisp, I think I remember the program, but that's also like that is a thing, isn't it? Is that because Halloween used it on their on Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2, if I'm not mistaken. Will o' the Wisps.
Exactly, it's like a spooky thing, I think, because the cartoon had like a Eve Ledner television and the Moog and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a weird program.
Spooky trees, please, spooky trees.
Yeah, spooky trees. Yeah, the spooky trees in that.
Stop bringing trees into it, but yeah, very cool. All right, cheers then, mate. Thank you for that. They've gone full progressive at this stage, haven't they? Fully 70s prog.
Pretty much. Yeah, probably prog rock rather than prog metal. They're not that heavy at all, really.
Yeah, I would
New
like to
album's
say
a bit heavier. A little heavier.
if I didn't know that Lee would always, if I didn't know that Jam would always have an Opeth song on here, I'd probably have more Opeth by this point, because I was really listening to them a lot once they completely turned into a prog rock band. Really love them, but I always know that Jam's going to be there. So I'd rather put in something else, a different name. But
yeah, that's cool.
But boy, yeah, they are just fantastic. Just so good. So there you go. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, mate.
Cool.
What you got in,
Okay. I just wanted to say, while you guys were doing your picks, I had to look up that record label. It is called Lion's Pride.
Oh, right.
That is the record label.
That is also, I think it's also a band. I'm not 100%. It's Lion's Share, I think. Actually.
All right. But okay, all right. And then Pride of Lions is the band. That's why I got confused. But yeah, there is a label out there, a melodic rock label called Lion's Pride. Just give that a plug.
No worries.
Okay, number 4 for me is Last in Line, the band, which we know is Vivian Campbell finally getting to play some hard rock and heavy metal once again after being, playing 2 steps behind in Def Leppard for the last 20 years. Although I'm sure it's a great paycheck and he never has to worry about money as long as he lives. Yeah, it's really great to hear him back shredding, fantastic. When this band first started, I was really worried that it was just going to be like a Dio copy, with the name and stuff. I thought, oh, it's just going to, he's going to get a singer that sounds just like him, and he's, it's going to sound just like recycled riffs from that. It really isn't. I mean, there's definitely flavors of it there, especially in his solos. You can recognize his solos, as the same style as that. But they're just a fantastic hard rock band. I really think they're great. This is the second album. It's called Heavy Crown, and the name of the track is Burn This House Down. He's got a great singer who, he doesn't really ape Dio very often. Every once in a while you go, oh yeah, it's a little bit of a lick, but it's nothing to, it's definitely not a tribute, so it's just Vivian back doing his fantastic guitar work.
I haven't heard a lot of them, to say the truth, and I know they got a new.
I think you really like them.
Yeah. I don't know why I haven't touched upon them. I know they've got an EP coming out soon as well, I think. But
all right. Well, you'll be reviewing that, so you'll.
Yeah. And I must admit, even though they're not a Dio cover band, they didn't sound like. I saw them at Download. I think they were the opening act a few years ago.
Yeah, I saw them as well. Yeah.
And I might have been next to you, Jam. I don't know.
Yeah.
Without knowing it.
Yeah.
But they did do a Dio song though, which is Straight from the Heart, which was fucking excellent.
Yeah, I saw him at a weekend festival thing a couple years ago in Scotland, and the set list was probably about half Dio, to be honest. But they did great versions of it, and it's just so cool to see Vivian, do those solos and licks that he put down.
And also, it must bring some great memories of his relationship with Ronnie James Dio playing there.
Well, yeah, they didn't
See
get along.
Yeah.
They sure made some classic rock.
Yeah. Right, okay. I might have mentioned this actual song before. I might have done. It's Alter Bridge. So we've gone Tremonti, now we're going Alter Bridge. So Alter Bridge brought out an album this year, obviously, because that's why I'm talking about it. Fucking idiot. It's the fifth album. It's called The Last Hero. And the reason I might have mentioned it before, I think it's probably the best song on the album, but I can't listen to the album sometimes because it's my dad. It reminds me of my dad because leading up to him passing away, I don't know. I got hold of this album and I just kept playing this song, and it played at the funeral as well. And then I find it really hard sometimes to listen to it, but it's a brilliant song. It's called My Champion. It's probably the catchiest song as well on the album. Do you know what I mean? Maybe taking some of the influence from their older stuff as well, but it's a brilliant song. But perhaps the album weren't the best looking back now. The Last Hero, maybe one of the weakest albums they did. But I was trying to think earlier on. I was talking to Jam about Alter Bridge in general, and I don't know at this stage. Maybe I overplayed them. I don't know what the score was, but I think this is generally known as not such a good album, The Last Hero. But My Champion is an outstanding song, which sometimes I can listen to, sometimes I can't. Just one of them. But no, brilliant song from an excellent band with a brilliant album out this year as well. So there you go. Alter Bridge and My Champion. Okay. Track 5. Jam, what you got?
Okay, we're going for a bit of old school thrash metal, although not so much these days. That's Anthrax with their last album to date, I believe, For All Kings. Not that they're not doing more stuff. In fact, I saw them earlier in the year. They're touring, but it was a classic tour. They have got new material, I think, which might even come out next year. I think so.
Need to fucking
so
hurry up.
I know. But yeah, this song's called Breathing Lightning, which I think was a single off it actually, but it's really catchy. It's more, as I say, metal than thrash these days, but they're still a good band, still tight. This album and the one before, which I've forgotten.
Worship Music.
Yeah, Worship Music were really good. I think I prefer the classic thrash ones, but they're still good music, still good to listen to. Really catchy, really groovy, and yeah, just a great song. Anthrax still got it.
That's a great album. Really good album. Yeah, I knew somebody would probably pick that again, so I chose not to. But just a fantastic album, and it really, I saw them last time I saw them. They supported Slayer, and they had about an hour, I think, and they did one song from the last two albums, and the rest was all old songs. And it was just like, you got to promote. I mean, nobody's going to give a shit about these albums if you don't believe in them enough to play them. It drives me nuts. I mean, these two albums have been so quality. But anyway,
there you go. Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
Okay,
what you got then, Dom?
Okay, going back to, I think I had one of these this band's tracks or albums way back in the 80s. So they've been going a while. This is Demon, classic. Yeah. Speaking of shitting you up there, Lee.
Don't you know it's the night of the demon?
Yeah, I remember that you said that cover shit you up, though. I think that might have been the first time you ever used it. Oh. Yeah, might have been the first time you ever used that. It was when we were talking about it. Anyway, so Demon, as we've said, part of the new wave of British heavy metal, really, but they're not nearly as heavy as you would think the name would be.
or the album covers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, this one's called Cemetery Junction. That's the name of the album. The name of the song is The Best Have Yet to Come, though. So it's their 13th album. They just toured. They were just around the English cities about a month ago, touring around.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they're still going. Really like this guy's voice. Don't really know how to describe them. They're a bit melodic prog, I guess, would be kind of a nice, maybe not as doodly as some of the modern prog is, but definitely kind of has that kind of feel. But yeah, still making great stuff. I thought Cemetery Junction was a great album. And it's a fine place to start if you've never really listened to them. So there you go, Demon, 2016.
Cheers, man. I do. It's weird that I just remember it like it's fucking yesterday, picking up that album. I think my brother had it, picking up that fucking hell, you know, I was like obviously early 80s. I can't remember the exact time when
Yeah,
Night of the
82,
Demon came out.
81 maybe.
Yeah, fucking yeah, weird. Remember it like yesterday, but great. Cheers, mate. Thanks for that.
Then you put it on, it's all. Yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking strange, but yeah, I do love that song though. That is brilliant. Okay, my track 5 is a collaboration, if you like. I think it's a Frontiers. It must be a Frontiers collaboration. So it's Nordic Union.
Oh, yes.
Off of their self-titled debut album. This song is called When Death is Calling. It's a quite a heavy song for them. Now they consist of, in case anyone doesn't know, Ronnie Atkins from Pretty Maids, yeah, and Eric Martinson of Eclipse, Wet, and all that business. It is really, that collaboration just works perfectly, I think. I mean, it was just like those bands, Eclipse and Pretty Maids. You couldn't have got it any, imagining it any better. Really catchy stuff, quite heavy at times. Probably my favorite album from them. I don't know, the new album as well this year is really good. But yeah, When Death is Calling is a stomper of a song. Anyone can't not like Eric Martinson's music. He's just fucking fantastic. There you go. So Nordic Union, When Death is Calling. Excellent song. All right. We're coming up to halfway. It's track 6.
Yeah, track 6. Okay, this is the second of those bands I was talking about. Another Swedish was a death metal band, but now not in any way. Well, these aren't very heavy at all. It's Catatonia from the Fall of Hearts album, which is, I really like this album. This or Dead End Kings, not sure which is my favorite of the two. But this is a great album. The song is called Residual, which I think is the best song on it. As soon as it comes this year, I thought I've got to have that on there. So as I say, it's prog rock. It's not soft, but it's not heavy at all, really. Obviously progressive. This is like one of those songs that sounds like a soundscape. It's just got bits to it, and it's just great singing. It's excellent. For 4 minutes, it starts to get a bit heavier, and it just builds up to a great sort of crescendo at the end. And they're just a great band. If you've never checked out Catatonia and want some, obviously the lyrics are very uplifting, I'd say, but the music is, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's great stuff. Catatonia, and they've got a new album come out next year. I just found out, which is interesting. They've just announced it last week, so I shall look forward to listening to that.
You like a bit of them, don't you, Dom?
I do, absolutely. I haven't. It's another kind of Opeth where I don't know. I've got the last 2, but I don't know if I'm going back how far I need to go before the death vocals start creeping back.
Yeah, obviously Dead End Kings and this one are fine, and there's a couple before that probably are okay as well, I think.
Okay, so I could definitely use a couple more of that ilk, because I do like the 2 I have very much.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers, Jan. What you got then, Dom?
What do I got? Oh, I got another new name for you. This is Human Fortress.
Oh.
No.
I'm trying to think.
Human Fortress. They are a German band in the power metal genre, but you know me. I like power metal to a point.
Ain't none of that.
Yeah, but it's not fucking Blind Guardian or whatever, where everything's an eagle's flying. And a lot of times I think power metal is just, people say it's power metal when it's really just a throwback to 80s metal, really, but anyway, it's melodic. And Human Fortress, name of the song I picked is Hell Rider, and this is from their album Thieves of the Night, and this is their 5th album, believe it or not. So they've been around the block for a while. Just really good melodic metal, really, I would say, taking his cues from Halloween and Priest and all that kind of stuff. But if you do that these days, you're called power metal. So there you go. They probably do have, I mean, every quote unquote power metal album usually has songs I really like and songs I'm not that crazy about, just because they do turn up the double bass and everything for everything. But usually these bands will have about half an album where it's just fantastic kind of mid-tempo, just fantastic, great heavy metal as we were reared on. So there you go, Human Fortress from Germany.
Excellent.
Thanks, mate. Cheers for that. excellent one. Okay, I'm going for a bit of thrash now, so a bit heavier for
Ooh.
me. Classic thrash, really, from the 80s
Ooh.
band, Testament. I love this band now, man. I mean, I think I really got into this band from the album before, which was, now. See, I'm trying to think now. I get the albums mixed up. I think the last four or something has been fucking excellent. It will come to me because it always does in the end. But this album was probably the heaviest out of their last few, I would say. The album's called Brotherhood of the Snake. This song is called Centuries of Suffering. Yeah. You like this one? Or the band?
No, just Brotherhood of the Snake is just so metal.
It is fucking is. It's a really heavy album actually. They probably, like I said, they probably went their heaviest out of the last few. This is a really aggressive thrash track. But it's what they are now. Testament. It's almost like they were always this band, but with that murky production in the past, I suppose, in the 80s, that a lot of the thrash bands had, where it was a bit, I don't know, murky and couldn't really hear much. But now it's like fucking, the riffs are just sound mental now. They're always looked at, they're outside of the big four, if you like, but I don't know, man. I think I would put them in, I don't know how the big four is. I don't know how that's actually, decided, whether it's how successful they are. I don't know. Yeah. But this band, I think, are just a special one. I think they should be in it, in my opinion. They're one of my...
They could do their own, couldn't they? You could have Exodus and Testament and Nuclear Assault or something. They could have done that.
Yeah, I think when people mainly talk, these are just outside of that, aren't they? Whatever the fucking big four is. But this is their 12th album, and I just think that,
Overkill.
Yeah, Overkill, probably another one. But Testament, Centuries of Suffering. It's a fucking heavy album, but it's still like really melodic as well, and just the right side of aggressive vocals for me. So brilliant. There you go. Testament. Okay. We're on to track 7, guys. What we got?
Okay. This is the last one of those really heavy bands that started off, and now not so much. Although these are the heaviest of the ones I've mentioned. This is a French band called Gojira, from their much critically acclaimed album called Magma, which I think a lot of people's writers and fans alike had this as their album of the year, or certainly up there. And it's how I got into it, really. Sometimes you just look at what's the best albums this year, let's have a listen to it, sort of thing. And I thought I'd check them out. I've heard a lot about them. And they said it was more of an access point because it was a bit more, not commercial, but certainly not as heavy as they used to be and shouty. And brilliant album. Could have probably picked anything off this album. It was good. I listened to it a lot at the time. Probably haven't gone back to it so much, actually. But at the time, it was really good. The song was called Pray. It's got like a flow in.
Pray, or is it Pray?
Yeah. No, Pray. AY. So, yeah. Pray is it.
Pray.
I thought that's more grope than pray.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a bit wondering, I suppose, what they say, curious, I suppose, about that band. I've heard, that they're really heavy at times. I think I've when the sort of bands you sort of try out and you maybe flick on their latest video or something like that. But I don't know. I've listened to it, thought, well, that sounds good, and then there's something in the song that sort of puts me off. Yeah, it's just probably just me. It's probably just me.
They're quite progressive. I mean, this song's quite strange. It's sort of got like a slow intro, then it's like a tribally thrashy riff comes in. It's like a bit like something off Roots or something like that. That sort of feel to it, and it's got like chanted lyrics almost in the verses, and then it's got like a shouted-ish chorus, but they're not really shouted. It's all proper words and stuff. But yeah, no, they're good. I mean, it's probably, you listen to half the album, you like half of it. I think the new album, I haven't really listened to the new album so much, but it's along a similar sort of feel anyway. They're not gone back to their death metal origins or whatever they weren't black metal. I think they were death metal type stuff. But I haven't gone back to listen to any of the really heavy stuff because I don't think I'd like it. But no, they're really good. Worth checking out. Very good musicians, drummers, and is absolutely fantastic and pretty good live as well. So.
And they save whales as well.
They do, yeah. The whole album on Wales. Yeah, there's a few whale heavy bands.
Dom's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, I did it again because I remember this conversation. I thought you were saying Wales, as in the country. and once again, you bring it up, and my first thought is, They're saving whales. Why do we need to save whales? They seem to be doing okay. Whales, as in the mammal whales. Yeah.
Yes.
Mammal whales. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Ah.
We got whales on the brain, man.
Okay, great one, mate. Cheers, Dom. I must admit though, your Jam, but I must admit, Jam, your list is, even though there's some bands that have turned less heavy, that's fucking heavy tonight. Has there been a heavier list from Jam? I don't know.
Yeah, a bit on the heavy
pretty,
side.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it tones down a bit now. Tones down a bit towards until the end.
Pet Shop Boys is next. Right, what you got then, Dom?
What do I got? I got okay, so I've got an American band, and they are called High Spirits. Lee might have heard of these.
Nope. Another one.
Oh, okay. High Spirits, they have quite a little cult following, really, especially around this time. This is their third album called Motivator, and track I picked is Down the Endless Road. Now, the best way that I could describe them is they are the American version of all the Swedish bands that are bringing back that kind of melodic rock thing. So your Crazy Licks and your Hardcore Superstars and, you know, all the Heat and all that kind of stuff. This is kind of the American version of that, I would think. High Spirits, great, and all their albums look really good as well. But definitely bringing back that kind of 80s, whatever you want to call it, party metal, you know, all the stuff that used to be at the top of the charts. But they are good, yeah. They've toured the UK a few times. Unfortunately, I've missed them both times I had the opportunity. But as I said, the third album still going. I think they've lost a little bit of their momentum. I don't really know why. I think maybe the pandemic did that with a lot of bands, you know, unfortunately. But they might come back and in a big splash. But I think we've got one or two after this. But they've got a decent catalog of music now. So there you go. High Spirits.
I got to admit, I've got a bit of a soft spot for American bands now. Like because they're sort of like, because of all the European bands, you know, like you mentioned, Swedish especially, which I've got no problem with whatsoever. I love them.
No, you don't.
But I think when an American band comes along and they do that sound, I've sort of got a bit of a soft spot because of when I grew up, it was all American. Yeah. You know what I mean? All the coming out of LA and all that. I was like, yeah, fucking. And then it's just gone away, innit? And then I love it when they come back. Even fucking Crazy Licks made that song, didn't they? Anthem for America, which was like,
yeah,
like, you know what I mean? What happened, America? What the fuck happened? And when you hear a decent American band, I'm like, yeah, fucking,
yeah,
a bit of soft spot.
I understand what you mean, yeah, because it never really, you know, America just got took over by this whole kind of, you know, post grunge kind of revolution, and now every band, you know, kind of sounds the same, and it's all kind of down tuned and whatever. It's like the grunge revolution that happened in the early 90s, that's just taken over most everything still. So if you turn on like mainstream rock radio over there, it's like, you know, Finger 11 and 3 Days Grace and just all these bands that, you know, crazy. So there you go.
Agreed. Good one, mate. Thanks for that. So I won't talk too much about this band. We've already spoken about the album itself. It's Anthrax. And it's Blood Eagle Wings. This is
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think this was a single as well. It's like 8 minutes long, but it's just fucking excellent. Epic metal track.
That's the one that has the real horror video, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant video as well. It's like it's in my wheelhouse, obviously. Slow to medium pace, sort of epic track, melodic, excellently produced as well. Their music now, I think it sounds great. Really balanced. Their 11th album. I don't know if you've already said that, Jam, but
No.
see, I was a Belladonna fan. Yeah, I know you two guys are
Both.
for the John Bush. No, I thought you prefer the John Bush here.
I'm the only Bush fan, yeah.
But you know, that, especially Spreading the Disease, I was like mad over that album when I was a kid. And then when he came back, I was like, fuck yeah, that's fucking. I love Joey Belladonna, so I think he sounds great as well. Obviously not doing the screams he used to, but he's got a really powerful voice still, isn't he? So
yeah,
there you go. Blood Eagle Wings. I think it's a bit of a fan favorite. I think from that album as well. For all
that sounds like I'm on a Marth should have done this, but in Vikings, they're the ones who did the Blood Eagles. So
That's right, yeah, because they that's one of the worst deaths, isn't it? When they get their back and then they cut their back and then they pull their fucking insides out or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they put their fucking skin out. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I don't know. Has it got anything to do with that? Or,
Assume that's what it's called. I don't know. Yeah.
who knows?
Who knows?
But,
I
yeah.
think the video, yeah, I think the video kind of portrays that. At least there's quite a bit of gore in it.
There's an episode of Vikings where they do it. If you ever watched that series, which is
I
brilliant.
did. I watched that when they did it, and it made me feel a bit ill, to tell you the truth. That bit.
Yeah.
It was like, even though you didn't see it all, even
No.
the sounds and the, you know what I mean, it just
Squishy sounds.
you get the old axe out and start fucking chopping at the spine or whatever it was. Oh, fucking hell.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, let's spoil that bit for you if you ain't watched it.
Yeah.
So, Anthrax, Blood Eagle Wings. I noticed the appreciation from when I said that song from both of you, so I like that.
Yep.
That's good.
Mhm.
Okay. Track 8 then, guys. We're getting there. What
Okay.
we got next?
Got an old favourite, though they're not featured that much recently. I think you've gone off them a bit. I went off them a bit. I didn't like the previous 2 hours, but I think this was pretty good. But I like this one. It's Blackstone Cherry with their Kentucky album. I like this. I think it's getting back to a bit more how they were. There's a couple of good songs on it. Shaking My Cage and The Rambler is track 13, which I think is really good, but obviously track 13. But anyway, track 8 is Cheaper to Drink Alone, which is more of a generic sort of party type song. You know, it's it's just a good time back to on Stereo song. You know, someone there's a serious with their sort of ballady one, someone that was singing about the South or wherever they're from, not Kentucky, obviously. And this is more like a good time drinking song, and it's just a bit of fun. And I like it. Upbeat, excellent.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for that. I don't really mind Blackstone Cherry now. I don't know if it's a band that, again, that I don't know if I sometimes think to myself, if I put that album back when I was really into them, would it have been as good? It may have been. Sometimes you just, listen to stuff too much. Great though, mate. Thanks for that. What you got in, Dom?
All right, I'm just looking up quickly this band. I want to see how many records I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so Vicious Rumor.
Oh yeah.
Rumors have been around for ages. This is their 12th album.
Yeah.
Still going. So Vicious Rumors, I remember hearing their maybe first or second record and thinking they were just fucking fantastic. Late. So this one is called Concussion Protocol. That's the name of the album. And the name of the song is Take It or Leave It. Again, I sound like a broken record, but this is just the kind of metal you grew up on. It's heavy and it can be very fast and riffy, but it's not any sort of death vocals or anything. I remember, thinking way back when that he almost had a bit of a Dio thing to his voice. I don't know if that was true at the time, but I kind of remember that, thinking that, this is kind of more melodic with the almost thrash kind of metal.
Do you know his name, the singer?
I can find out. I just had their wiki page up.
Yeah, I might be getting confused. While I ramble on, you can have a look, because I'm sure this guy in this band is now in a band, an actual more of a thrash band.
Oh, right.
But I might be getting
what their original song was called.
I might be getting confused. It will be the singer from that period, I think.
Yeah. I think he was in the band for a long time. Let me see. Oh, they've had quite a few singers.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't. God, they've had a lot of members. It's really difficult for me to.
That's all right. I think he's in a band called Trauma now.
Okay.
Who are? And I'm probably completely fucking wrong, but I'm sure the guy. He's and Trauma are a band who had Cliff Burton as their bass player way back.
Yeah.
In the
yeah,
80s.
you mentioned that, didn't you? Yeah.
And then he left and went to Metallica, but I'm sure that singer, I might be wrong, is in Trauma now, but their album's excellent. They brought out this year.
Is that Gary St. Pierre?
Probably fucking wrong, and I.
I don't know.
so. I don't think
Add
so.
it to the comments if anybody knows. Put it in the comments. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, our hearts are in the right place.
they
Anyway,
are.
trying to recommend things, new albums, old albums, all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Yes.
Vicious Rumors still doing great stuff in 2016. Take it or leave it from Concussion Protocol.
Cheers, mate. When I've done mine, I'm going to have a little look up just in case. But no, that excellent. Thanks for that, mate. I'm going to. We've already had Michael Sweet. So this is a band called Theocracy that are a Christian metal band. So they're a metal band. It's their fourth album. The really talented guy is the leader of this band, if you like. It's called Matt Smith. He's like an excellent singer, excellent guitarist and songwriter. This is my favourite song from them, actually, so I really wanted to get it on there. It's a song called Currency in a Bankrupt World, a little bit of a weird title for a song, but it's really catchy, almost 80s sounding. It's probably why I like it so much. The album's called Ghost Ship. Like I said, it's their fourth album. I think they're ready to release another album probably next year as well, but they're really popular in that Christian scene, if you like. So Theocracy, Currency in a Bankrupt World from Ghost Ship. There you go, guys. You're next, Jen.
Cool. Yeah, track 9. I won't be too long on this because you've already mentioned the album. It's Alter Bridge from The Last Hero. My Champion is the best song on the album. I would love to have that in my list, but as you know, it doesn't work out like that. It's a really great song. I like Show Me a Leader as well, but track 9 is You Will Be Remembered, which sounds like it's a ballad, but it's more of a sort of mid-pace, softer song, I'd say. Not that the album's particularly heavy, but yeah, it's more of an up-tempo song. It's a softer song, but the whole album, as I think we agree, is not my favourite, I would have said. But the new album, anybody out there, by the way, if you want to listen to the new album, it's really heavy and it's really, really good. So check out the new Alter Bridge album. But yeah, You Will Be Remembered from The Last Hero.
That is one brilliant song. Almost a homage again to their older stuff, I would say. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. Absolutely love that. Okay, what you got then, Dom?
Okay, got another new name to give you. This is a band called Headspace. They are prog metal. I'm not gonna. There's no two ways about it. Sometimes bands are unfairly put into genres. Whatever. This is prog metal. But you know what? I realized, Lee, is that one of the most quoted bands in the whole prog metal genre is Queensryche.
I know, but
yeah, weird that.
So a lot of these bands that are prog metal, probably love Queensryche. They're probably their favorite band. So we're not talking really esoteric or obscure kind of music. This is just, it's a bit of time changes and stuff, but Queensryche have that too, especially on the new album. There's a lot of time changes and a lot of like complicated, rhythm section stuff. So
yeah,
it's prog metal. And so are Headspace. So it's melodic, it's involved, but still good songwriting, really great. Obviously they are prog metal bands that it's more about the listening and the solos and stuff than it is about the songs. But there's other prog metal bands where songs come first and then all the musicianship goes after it, So this is The Day You Return, and the name of the album is All That You Fear Is Gone. Admittedly, I don't have a whole bunch of information about Headspace. This is kind of one of the years where I started really reading the Fireworks magazine, and they would recommend things, This is one of the things I just took a chance on because of the review, and it was a great record. So if you like a bit of prog metal, melodic prog metal, Headspace, fantastic record.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thank you very much. I'm going to a band that probably hit my list maybe every time we've done a year. Southern rock band Blackberry Smoke. Their album Like an Arrow, it was called. This is another one almost they brought out so quick. It might have almost been, I think they brought the album out before, like at the end of the year, and then this came out a few months after. Bit of a weird one, but probably one of my favorite albums by then. Really mellow track, Southern band, like I said, almost acoustic guitars and stuff like that. I think they do that really well. It's their fifth album. it's a fucking excellent album. Yeah, love it, absolutely love it. Like an Arrow's the album. I saw him on this tour as well. The Roundhouse, is it in London?
In London?
In London, yeah, in Camden, yeah.
The one with the
Good venue.
big fucking like pylons. You know, you have to go like if you're behind one, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
It's rubbish. Yeah, not great.
But I was standing, I think, because it was 6 years ago, so I could stand up then. So, but a brilliant band. I love Blackberry Smoke. The song's called, because I ain't even fucking said that yet, Ain't Gonna Wait. It's an excellent song. It's just a typical Blackberry Smoke song. That's my back 9. There you go.
I can't believe Blackberry Smoke and Blackstone Cherry had albums of the same year. No wonder I get them confused all the time. Jesus,
mate, there is so many. You're right. You've said this before.
Cherry.
There you go. That's my track 9. We're on to track 10, guys. What you got?
Track 10. Okay, I've got a band we haven't had before because I believe it's their debut album. British band. We haven't had much British stuff today.
No.
Band called Stone Broken. Don't know if you've heard of them.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. They're heavy rock, stroke metal, possibly. Certainly very energetic. These are one of the bands I picked up on Planet Rock that I hadn't heard before in the last few years. Play them quite a lot. I think I saw them at the Pilot, which was all British bands at Download. I think they played there, if I remember, but might be wrong on that. There's so many bands and I hadn't heard of at the time. But they're excellent. Yeah, this is a really fast-paced, energetic song. Great, catchy chorus. I haven't heard much of them, but I have heard this album. And best song on the album, Stay All Night, track 10, I think. There's a single as well. A bit weird to have track 10 as a single, which is usually the ones heavy towards the front, aren't they, the album? But Stay All Night. Great song.
Excellent. Thanks, mate. Cheers. By the way, because I probably my concentration went a little bit there, I was looking at that Brian Allen singer. All right. So he did sing for Vicious Rumours, but not on the album.
Ah.
Okay.
Right.
And also while he's singing for Trauma, he's a kid's bus driver, just to let you know.
Yeah, all right.
But only because I was actually talking to him. We've probably we've spoken on the phone probably about 3 times. He actually calls me like on Messenger. And I said to him, I said, we're talking about how hard the music business is now. And he said, well, I said, I don't mind, I hope you don't mind me asking, does the band Trauma and what you do, is that enough to keep you going, you know? And he said, I'm a bus driver for kids. So that's
automatically what I think of is that bus driver on The Simpsons with the long hair.
Well, mate, he's a bit of a nutter as well because fucking you'll probably love the band as well. The Trauma, they've got an album out. I said just came out a few weeks ago, and he's a bit of a nutter, like you know. And I think he put a thing up. Obviously, but must have got permission or something from the fucking kids' parents. Put a video up. He's on the bus, and he was fucking like all their kids fucking loved him. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking hair down here, beard down here, looks like a biker. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Seems a really nice guy though, but a bit fucking nutty to tell you the truth. But nah, there you go. I didn't mean that to be wander off there. You know what it's like when you've got something in your head, you've got to think of it, didn't you?
I was done.
I forget now. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, mate. Yeah, track 10.
Man, I got so involved in that story. I lost all track of where we were.
Like I said, this ain't just about music, mate. It's about that useless fucking information that we can give out on a regular basis.
Yeah.
If only we could make some money from it.
Yeah,
okay. So track 10 for me is a band. I'm not going to say supergroup because none of them were really that popular, but it's a band of musicians from other bands. It's called Sin City Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this, but a lot of former Sunset Strippy kind of musicians all live in Vegas now. Whatever reason, I don't know. It's kind of like the new, Hollywood, I guess. They do have a lot of those kind of Vegas shows that do like a Rock of Ages or like, but they have other ones that aren't like musicals, but it's just like a spectacle, like, Legends of Rock or whatever. So I guess people get, a lot of work out of there. And there's a couple big like biggish kind of hard rock clubs where live bands come through. And yeah, so anyway, so this is how they got together, Sin City being Las Vegas, Sin City Sinners. Track is called Let It Burn, and it's also the title track of the album. This is Brent Muscat, who was in Faster Pussycat. And the singer name is Todd Kerns. Now, you guys may not have known, but any big Kiss fans out there, on the Kiss cruise the last few years, or probably from when they started doing these, Bruce Kulick has his band, Bruce Kulick Band, and he does all of the non-makeup stuff that Kiss don't do anymore. So he does tons of album tracks from, like, you know, Asylum and Hot in the Shade and Crazy Nights and everything. He's got a cracking band, and the guy that's the lead singer is also the bass player, and that's the same guy as in this Sin City Sinners band. If you've ever, I know you guys like Kiss, but you're not like, you know, fanatics. If you ever want to go on YouTube and see some of the Bruce Kulick Band sets, man, they'll do like I'll Fight Hell to Hold You, and you know, just like,
Wow.
yeah, just songs that Kiss never even did back in the day, much less they would never do now. And they're really good versions, and the singer's great. So I recommend that. But yeah, Sin City Sinners. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, you're right there about what you said about Kiss, especially for me. I'm not a massive fan, but I did love that period. You know what I mean? The non-makeup period, if you like. And I'd fucking love to hear, you know, would have loved to have hear them done all them songs and sing them back then. Obviously, I never got the chance, but
yeah, well, I mean, back then they weren't even doing their songs. They weren't even doing a lot of their songs. They'd only add maybe 2 or 3 new songs every tour. So, you know, that's only 2 or 3 from a 12-track album. So there's tons of songs they never even performed live. But Bruce is doing them now and sound really good.
Cool.
I don't know if I mentioned before, my first ever gig was Kiss on the Crazy Nights tour. I was 13.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so so I like both versions of Kiss, but yeah, I grew up listening to the non-makeup. Although I did listen to Creature of the Night a lot, but yeah, a lot of the non-makeup I grew up with as well. So I went back to the makeup stuff, to be honest.
Cool. Very cool. Okay, cheers for that, Dom, and the information, obviously.
Yeah.
Full of info. So I'm going to a band that is possibly the best singer in the fucking world. Who is it?
I would have said you would have picked Yorn, but maybe not. Ronnie James Dio.
Ralph Sheepers, my mate Ralph.
Right.
Yeah, so Primal Fear, obviously. The Sky is Burning from Rule Breaker. They do some like real epic sort of songs. This is one of them. It's like almost a heavy ballad. They do those so well. This is the 11th album from Primal Fear.
Wow.
I think they started off. Didn't they start? I can't remember. It's late 90s, I think. And you know they haven't been influenced from anything but just pure heavy metal, have they? Really, that's what they're about. They've never really strayed from that. It's still on Wiki, you know. And I feel like I need to go and edit it, because you can edit Wiki, can't you?
Yeah.
If you go on the Wiki, when it's got Ralph Sheepers, that still says he started Primal Fear because he didn't get the Judas Priest gig. That's what it says. And I feel like I've got to go and fucking change it. I feel like saying, apart from the rumors, it's not true that he fucking wasn't in, you know, he was tried out for Judas Priest.
You're emotionally invested in this now.
Exactly, yeah.
Now he officially threatened me. I feel like I need to change it myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Why isn't he fucking changing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Must piss him off. Or perhaps he thinks that having that is a good advertisement.
Maybe he thought you wrote it.
But Ralph, mate, we know it weren't you. We know that if you actually did go for the audition, you would have got it.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. Okay, that's my track 10. What you got then, Jan?
Okay. I've got one that matched with Dom actually. Last Heavy Crown from Last in Line.
Ooh.
Heavy Crown is the album. Heavy Crown is the song. And their band is obviously Last in Line. And yes, I'll be quick, but yeah, if people don't know, it's Vivian Campbell, Jimmy Bain, Vinny Appice, and Andrew Freeman. I don't know who he was, so I looked him up, and he was in Lynch Mob and The Offspring, apparently, but I didn't know that. Anyway, this song is really good. It's got a slow start and sort of a slow verse, but it's got like a heavier, faster chorus. And this is a bit like that MSG song, The King Is Gone. This is all about, obviously, Dio's crown is, gone and all that. So it's sort of a direct homage to Ronnie, if you like, on this album. But I think I've seen these downloads actually, Last in Line, possibly. But yeah, really good. Won't say Dom's already talked about these, but worth checking out the album if you like that sort of thing. It's pretty heavy, isn't it? It's pretty decent.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, mate. That's your track 11. What's your track 11, mate?
Track 11 for me is, this is one of my favorite records this year. This is self-titled Diamond Head. So I have brought up Diamond Head quite a bit on here, various shows. They just happen to crop up. But wow, this was such a, I don't even know if I can say return to form. I think it might be their best album. It's so good. It's super heavy. It's melodic. It's kind of those addictive kind of songs. It's got, I would almost say that a lot of it is very kind of epic and mid-tempo, like You Love Lee. Just fantastic. It just came out of left field for me because it's only the guitar player now, obviously from the original band, but man, he can still write a tune. He can still write a riff. He's got a pretty young singer singing, but good voice. Almost kind of every once in a while he hits a certain tone. He almost sounds like Chris Cornell a little bit, which is, Chris Cornell is probably the most kind of classic rock singer of that whole genre anyway. But yeah, he's almost got a bit of a tone there. But yeah, I can really recommend this album back to front, and it's self-titled, so it's kind of a we're back kind of thing, and it's true, just a great album. I think it's on no, I don't know where it's from. I was going to say Frontiers, but I'm not sure if that's right.
I did. Yeah. I probably mentioned this before. I did react to one of their newer songs. It might have been off that album, and I fucking loved it. It sounded brilliant. So yeah, and I haven't heard a lot of Diamond Head, to tell you the truth. Apart from that, apart from their "Am I Evil," that copy they did of the Metallica song.
yeah. Right. No, I think this would be right up your street. So definitely when they make a new record, I'm sure you'll be reviewing it and you'll be really into it. So
I'll be on
there's just so much music I understand. I mean, there's so much music to go back and listen to. and you're still trying to keep up with all the new shit coming out. When you have time to go back and listen to a record from 2016.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It really is. You don't give, like I said earlier on, we don't even give bands a chance now because there's too much music in there. So, no.
Yeah.
Cheers for that, mate. Thank you very much. So, my track 11, I've already mentioned the singer from this band. They actually brought an album out this year. It is Pretty Maids. The album's called Kingmaker. And they had a sort of return to form a couple of albums before this. They went in a bit of a weird period during, grunge and all that, where I didn't say they were playing grunge, but they just wasn't as good. But, they really, I think, came back strong now. This is the 15th album. I don't think they ever went away. They just went quiet during that period, like a lot of bands did, where they didn't have any success, basically. Modern Pretty Maids is all about being heavy but melodic at the same time. This is a medium-paced track. Ronnie Atkins is a great singer. This is called Was That What You Wanted, is the actual name of the song. It's a great song. They're a great band. Love them. He's making some great music now as well, solo album. So, absolutely brilliant. There you go, Pretty Maids.
And Nordic Union as well.
Nordic Union, yeah. Solo albums, Pretty Maids, and obviously Ronnie's not ill, he's stage 4 cancer, I think, but he's having treatment constantly, and I think it might have cleared up at the moment. I'm not sure. He might have, been
I think he kind of celebrate that he was kind of back on his form. I think it happened over the pandemic. Really, it was when he kind of made a turn for the better. really. So.
Yeah, and he goes out on tour with Avantasia as well. So there's all that.
Mm.
He's got a lot going on. I think he's just trying to cram as much music in as he can, but it's all good.
Good for him, man.
There you go. We're on the last track, guys.
Oh, we are.
What you got then, Jack?
Okay, number 12, we're going to close out with a massive band and a nice fast-paced closing one, and it's Metallica from their latest album. That's shocking to say, isn't it? 2016. And it's Hardwired to Self-Destruct is the album, of course, and it's Spit Out the Bone, which is the very aggressive last track that Metallica like to do on a few albums. Right in the tradition of Dyer's Eve, from my favourite Metallica song from And Justice for All, Damage Incorporated, of course, that sort of thing. Really fast. Perhaps a little bit overlong. This song is 7 minutes. Doesn't need to be that long, being this sort of fast and heavy. I don't know. It's good. I like it, but yes, perhaps a bit overlong. But yeah, I like this album. I liked Atlas Rise, Moth into a Flame. Some good songs on there. Not one I've gone back to listen to much. I think I prefer Death Magnetic, actually, but as a modern Metallica album, if you like. But yeah, great song. Very fast. Not sure they've played it live quite a few times. I'm not sure if they've played it when I've seen them, but yeah, really good.
I think I
Did
saw
you say it's called Spit Out the Bone?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's what it was called.
I think it's weird with Metallica. I think they're trying to give the fans what they want. I might have fucking repeated this myself before. I think they're trying to go back and give fans exactly what they want. But it's almost weird. It's like I've listened to this album quite a bit as well, but I'm like you. I don't find there's longevity in the album. Yeah. It's almost like I can listen to Master of Puppets for the rest of my fucking life. Do you know what I mean? I think that is just an outstanding album that doesn't get old. But it's almost like Metallica nowadays, the modern Metallica, always wears off too quick. Don't know if you would agree with that. But it's still good.
I don't really listen to this.
There's something that's missing. I'm not really sure what it is. There you go.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's just where they're just old now, aren't they?
Well, also you've got so long between albums. I mean, they're never going to keep up with the times necessarily, but by the time they sort of rehearse and play stuff for 3 years, it's perhaps not the most modern thing they thought it was anymore. You know what I mean? They're sort of, while they used to set the trend, now they're sort of perhaps following the trend or trying to sound like a classic band again. Now that's popular. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. But it's good. But yeah, as you say, once I've listened to it a few times and listened to it, I very rarely put it back on again.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, mate. Excellent list, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Very heavy, very fucking heavy.
Very heavy.
Must say.
Yeah.
Dom, what you got there, mate? You got Metallica, modern Metallica on your last song?
I don't, actually, surprisingly. So we've often said on this show that sometimes we save 11 and 12 for albums that are great from front to back. So you can usually tell if we really love an album and we need to fill those slots. We know that we can rely on that because that entire album is great. Yeah. The one Diamond Head before this was one of my favorite records of the year. This again was way up in my top 10 that year. This is Treat, and it's the title track. The name of the album is Ghost of Graceland, and the name of the track is Everything to Everyone. Now, I knew Treat had been around for a long time because I knew the name, but I didn't really know them until this album. And this album just blew my socks off. Just, as I said, every song, fantastic, stellar, melodic hard rock, what can I say? Great vocalist, great tunes, fantastic production. I went back, and the one before this is called Coup de Grace, which is a fantastic album as well. It's kind of regarded as kind of their rebirth, what have you. But yeah, that one and this one, Ghost of Graceland, wow, fantastic stuff. So if you love that melodic hard rock that we all love, man, check out Treat, especially these few records in the 2000s.
And I know we're not on to that year yet, but do you like the new album, The Endgame? Have you heard it?
I'm slowly going through releases of this year, and it does sound pretty good. Maybe not like as fucking fantastic as this one is, but yeah, I think they're kind of keeping it going. Yeah,
almost dare I say it, I think on the new album, almost the production is so good, it might even be too good. If that makes any sense, it's so fucking clear. Do you know what I mean? It almost pulls that band feeling out, the live feel, if you know what I mean. It's
right. Yeah. Okay.
but
Okay.
I don't know. See what you think when you listen
Production's
to it.
almost too good.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but it almost needs a bit of
You want a
rawness
bit
in
of
it.
you want a bit of rawness in there.
Almost
yeah.
too perfect. It's almost too perfect. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, like maybe like when Def Leppard brought Hysteria out all them years ago, maybe that was a bit too good. Do you know what I mean?
But
So
that's kind of how I feel about FM, which, you know, I like FM and people love FM, but I've always, you know, I don't dislike them, but it always just sounds a bit too professional. I feel like.
yeah,
Anyway.
I do. Yeah, I'll get that. Great one, mate. Thanks for that. My last song is from a band called The New Roses. They're a German. They're probably I think I've probably said this before. They're probably the band that least sounds like where they're from. It's just absolutely ridiculous. They sound American, simple as that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I heard an interview the other day, or one of the band members on their YouTube channel saying so, because they got a new album out, and he was introducing the song. And I don't know if he's living in America, but he always putting an American accent on, but he didn't sound German.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. I believe they do live in Germany, but he's maybe he's taken the old fucking American thing a bit too far. But they really do sound American. But they are excellent, though. They're really excellent. This is their second album. This is actually a bonus track, so I think that is allowed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't see why not. Yeah.
Weird one that. I've never had a bonus track, I don't think. But it's heavy, it's rocking, got a bit of a southern feel to it. They are a rock and roll band, like I said. They almost sound like AC/DC mixed with Bon Jovi. Good Bon Jovi, by the way. Not fucking, not now Bon Jovi, obviously. But yeah, it's a brilliant track. It doesn't sound like a bonus. Do you know sometimes bonus tracks like tagged on the end because they couldn't be asked for it to be a good song.
But sometimes they're one of the best songs on the album too. So
exactly. It's called The Secret. It's really rocking. For Dead Man's Voice by The New Roses, and their new album's excellent as well. Probably one of the most consistent bands that every album sounds excellent, you know. So yeah, really cool. So that's it. The New Roses it's my last song, guys.
Yeah.
We're on
all right.
If anyone's got any honourables, they can say it now. Jam?
I've only got 3. I'll quickly. I can't believe I didn't pick anything off it, but somehow it just doesn't work like that. Megadeth Dystopia, which is one of the best albums they've done recently. Very, very good album. Threat is Real is a great song. Dystopia track 2. I nearly had that, but I went for Kill Switch in the end. Yeah, go on. Could have been either one of those, but yeah, Megadeth album's great. The new album's good as well. Prophets of Rage had the EP out, which is members of what are they called? Rage Against the Machine and Public Enemy. Party's Over EP, great title track. More to come probably next year when their album come out, so we'll see. And Massive Wagons bought out a British band, Welcome to the World, which has got some great songs like Ratio and Tokyo. And I'm going to see him next Thursday on the 10th. So I thought I'd mention him because they're great live supporting with Ugly Kid Joe. So I look forward to that on Thursday night next week.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Dom, are you going to be quiet as usual on this bit?
Yeah, stick with my 12.
Just really quickly, Avantasia had Ghost Lights out this year. That year, obviously Tobias Sammet and his huge amount of musicians that are on his albums. What's I was going to say something else there, and his huge amount of musicians. Anyway,
ego,
huge ego. Yeah. Inglorious had their album out this year.
Very good.
Yeah.
I didn't choose anything from it. I was looking at the songs because I didn't listen to this album much when it was out, but then I was trying to look for songs on it that I listened to when I heard them live a few weeks ago, thinking, oh yeah, I'd like to put one. And it just didn't work out because of Jam's fucking shit rules.
Yeah.
And Tigers of Pantang also had a self-titled album out, and they're a good band now as well. That and a different sort of sounding band than what they were, but they are. Yeah, great British band again. So that's it. That's my list, guys. All right.
Cool.
Good seeing y'all.
It was
Yes.
it was great as fucking usual. Love looking forward to this. And obviously we got 6 years left to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the speed we're going, we'll still be doing this in fucking whenever. We'll have another
probably get
5 years to
2017
do.
done. We'll get 2017 done in December, probably, won't we? I guess. Some point.
Yes, exactly. And we're
Are
not
we doing
going
a
to do
Christmas one
it. No, fuck.
or not?
I don't know any Christmas songs that are any fucking good. So it'd be an
Oh
all.
yeah, we tried that last year, didn't we? And it was like, nah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I came up with the only one I could think of, which is fucking terrible, was "Don't Let the Bells Ring by the Darkness." So I mean, you know.
No, you're missing the joke. Don't let the bells end.
Yeah.
Oh, is it end?
Oh,
Yeah,
then,
like bell end.
Bells end, Christmas time.
That
They're
wasn't
so
on my list.
clever. They got bell end into a Christmas song.
Oh, is that the joke?
Sure.
Oh, for fuck's
That's the
sake.
joke. Don't let the bells end. Bell end.
I'm fucking just.
Learn something new every day.
I quite like the song now. Now I know they got Bell End in it. That's quite good. I like that. Yeah.
Top of the
But
charts.
no,
Bell end.
We won't be doing Christmas. We've done Halloween
Okay.
if anyone wants to watch it, because not many
Yes.
people watch that for some reason. I don't know what. It's fucking.
There's 150, I think, up to months.
Oh,
Last year was kind of the same.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the last time I looked actually. So that ain't too bad thing, but no, that's all right. So, yeah, guys,
Cool.
been a pleasure as usual. Been a fucking laugh as usual. And we'll see you for 2017.
Leave some comments. We love your lists.
Yeah,
Yes,
good list
keep putting them
below,
in, Phil.
guys.
Love your list.
Actually, yeah, love reading them. And I know what hassle it is because of Jam's rules. So if you do a list, we really fucking appreciate it. So, all right, guys, I'll see you soon. See you later.
Cheers.